Hello everyone, my name's Chaplain Tom DeWitt. I'm a chaplain in the Chaplain Services Department. I've been here at the VA for a year and a half and have enjoyed my time in ministry here. During this time of Advent, there are four major themes: love, hope, peace, and joy, and I want to speak a little bit about the topic of love today. Many years ago, if you look in the Gospel of John, chapter 3, there was a famous conversation that takes place between a man named Nicodemus and Jesus. Nicodemus came to Jesus at night, probably after the end of a long day, to speak with him. And Nicodemus was what we call a Pharisee. He was one of the rulers, one of the lawyers in the land who oversaw the law and made sure that people were compliant and whatnot. Well, he came to Jesus because he'd heard about his ministry, his miracles, the message that he was preaching, and was curious. He wanted to know more. And one of the famous verses in the Bible comes from that chapter, John 3:16, which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him would not perish but have everlasting life." And the key there, of course, of that particular verse is that God loved the world. And when Nicodemus heard that, and the conversation continued on into a few other things, Nicodemus' life was changed forever. In fact, Nicodemus would show up later in the story of Christ, and he would be part of the ones who would bury him in his time of crucifixion, and he became a key figure. And it all happened because of one conversation. And sometimes our lives can change with just a conversation, just a word. And the word that Nicodemus heard was the word love. There's a favorite painting of mine. There's a few favorite paintings of mine, religious in particular. And in this particular painting is the manger scene. And you can see the manger lined with straw and the stable, shadow and light falling in various places. But if you look closely at the manger, you'll see a shadow there. And if you look at the shadow, you see that the shadow is in the shape of a cross. What that means for us is that Jesus lived his entire life in the shadow of a cross, from birth till death. And it is that particular theme, that particular event, that has such a profound impact for all of us. Because Christ went to the cross out of love, not because of compulsion or because someone told him he had to, but he did so because he loved us, as he said to Nicodemus. And remember, Advent isn't just about love, joy, hope, and peace as far as concepts are concerned. They're not merely philosophical or theological conclusions. They're not just things that we feel warm and fuzzy about this time of year, especially during Advent. And we know that Christmas is so much more than just lists and parties and shopping and meal preparation and all the busyness and the hectic schedule that can go with it. But in the midst of all that, and those things are fine, but sometimes we can lose the real meaning. And the meaning, of course, is love. And that was the love that Christ himself showed to us when he went to a cross and gave us the gift of eternal life. So remember, Christmas isn't about the busyness and all those trappings that we go through, but it's about the one who brought us these gifts and so much more. His name is Jesus. Merry Christmas. Thank you.